Welcome back, guys. So my name is Jake Limon, and today we have got a challenge. What we're going for is we're trying to take a skill that I have, right, blacksmithing, and use that to negotiate our way into something that will feed into another skill that I have, being a musician. Here's the challenge. We are going to hand make some knives and try to trade them for guitars. Now, real quick before I post anything, the challenge is to go on Facebook Marketplace and find people who are willing to trade for an instrument. So we did that. It looked like this. There were lots of weird conversations and it took a lot of trial and error, but eventually we did find somebody. His name is @RealBananaJuice on Instagram. He's also a YouTuber and he makes awesome music on YouTube. So definitely go check him out, subscribe to his channel, and let's get back to the video. There's two types of guitars that I'm really after. A 7-string guitar, or B, some type of travel guitar. So here's the great part. We got bids on both.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
So the first one, we're gonna make a Bowie knife. Now, I love a good old Bowie knife. I've made a couple and they usually come out pretty nice, but this is probably gonna be the best one by far. So we're trading a custom Bowie knife for this Jackson 7-string guitar. Now, this is one of the cheapest 7-string guitars on the market, but from all the reviews that I'm seeing, it punches well above its weight class. So even though it retails for, I think, about $250-ish, every review I've seen on the Jackson Dinky 7-string has just been glowing. So we're going to go ahead and make this deal.
I'll make that deal. How about you? You bet you make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Now, what I'm thinking is I'm going to take a piece of spring that I have in the truck, chop it up, hammer it to shape, real Neil Kamimura style, do a little bit of grinding and make it a brute de forge Bowie knife. And I'm thinking for the handle, we're either going to go with antler, synthetic antler, or something like that, but probably going to be a 2-piece handle construction with a brass guard. So let's go ahead and get out to the garage. We're going to chop up a piece and get to work. All right, so we are in the garage. Now, for this Bowie knife, I'm thinking that we're going to take one of these. Good old leaf spring. And if you've been hanging out here a while, you know this is one of my favorite materials to work. Not because it's necessarily an easy steel, it's a tough as hell steel, but I have hundreds of pounds of it, so leaf spring is what we got. And you know, it just so happens that leaf spring makes a pretty damn fine blade. So we're gonna go ahead and cut a profile in. Now, I know what a lot of you are gonna say, Jake, why don't you forge in your tip and your tang? Simple. It takes a long time to do that. And not only does it take a long time, but I don't have the tools to do that entirely. So if this was like a 10 series or even like a 80 series, like a 1084 or a 80 CRV, I would love to hammer in this tip and do this all, you know, the forge and fire way where you do everything by hand. But we don't have those tools. We don't have a guillotine tool. We don't have a power hammer or a press. So we're going to cut in our tang. And luckily, this one already has that cut in. So we're probably just going to clip a point right here. So we'll have our clip point ready to go. And then we're going to hammer in to thin this metal down because leaf spring is way too thick to be a knife. Well, I mean, I guess you could use it, but should you?
With whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
So yeah, we'll cut in our clip, we're going to cut in our tang, and then we're going to hammer forge those things out. Let's go ahead and clean this up though, because this black material on the outside of the leaf spring, when you put it in the forge, does not smell very good. It smells toxic. So we're going to grind it off to make sure that we're not breathing in any fucked up shit. All right, so here's where we're at. We have cut out a good shape. Now this, if you kind of want to think about it like that, it is a blank shape now, where we have our clip point put in. We have a tang starting point, and I actually chopped it down just a little bit. That way we have some room to grow. Because think about it. We are going to be hammering, right, this all the way back. And we're at a very thick workpiece right now. So as we hammer this longer, this is going to get thinner. So we want to give ourselves a little bit of room. I'm going to say this is probably going to stick out about to there, which will be too long, but we're just going to cut it to make it work for our handle that we have ordered. So let's go ahead and light the forge, and we're going to get to hammering. Here we are, guys. Our profile's hammered out. I went ahead and ground off a little bit off the edges here just to get that profile a little bit more defined, or sorry, refined. But I think we're looking pretty good. Now, I think I'm going to put some fullers in right here. Either way, we're going to go ahead and start grinding in some faces and getting this ready for a heat treat. We are here. We have our rough grind done, and our fuller is put in. I must say, guys, I think this is a intimidating looking Bowie knife. This looks like something you could carve a symbol into someone's forehead at the end of an awesome movie.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
But I will tell you this much on the note of taking that deal. I think this is going to be a pretty fair deal. We're going to get a 7-string guitar for this awesome hand-forged, brute de forge Bowie knife. I would take that deal.
Damn good deal.
So now we're going to heat treat this. Then we're going to put a handle and a guard on here and do some hand sanding, a little sharpening, and call it a day. However, our handle material isn't in quite just yet, so we're waiting for that to come in. Now, when it came to the handle, I was thinking that, you know, I want this to be nice, I want it to be special, but also be in my wheelhouse of something that I'm good at making, which is a hidden tang knife. So we're going to do a hidden tang on this, but it's going to be a deer antler. And I had to order a brass fitting for the guard because I don't have a mill. don't really have easy access to a mill or want to file for a full week. So I just ordered one off of Alpha Knife Supply. I'll leave a link in the bottom because that's a great website. Thank you so much for all you do, Alpha Knife Supply. They're not a sponsor, but you know, if you guys ever were thinking about doing it, I'm available. Now, I did end up ordering something really awesome for the handle though. I got us a deer antler. Now it's coming off of a whitetail deer. These are shed antlers that come out of Texas from the Antler Company on the internet. I'll put a link in the description as well. That way you guys can, you know, potentially go buy some antlers from there. So what we're going to do is we are going to get that antler, tap a hole right here in the tang, and then we're going to peen a brass pin through that hole, through that antler, just so that way we know that it's like secure in there mechanically. I don't trust a chemical connection with a knife of this quality, because if I had this knife, I would beat the absolute dog shit out of it. Just because it's an awesome knife, you know, it's a woodsman's tool. So I hope the guy who's getting this blade really appreciates that, and I hope when he inevitably does kick the shit out of it, that it's going to hold up well. So let's go ahead and get that stuff in the mail, and then we're going to continue on with the build.
Yep. You put those tongs down. Oh, yep. Now hit the red button and pull up.
Little like striations at the blade, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's good, man. Good job.
Thanks, man. We have a hardened steel blade. We have a tempered blade, and I will tell you this much, guys. It is looking not too shabby, if I say so myself. So we also ordered that antler from Texas. That should be coming in the mail in the next few days. But we got this as well. So this is going to fit up right there to make a nice guard. Oh, I really dig how that's looking. So yeah, I think this is coming along well, at least so far. We're going to go ahead and do some finishing grinds here. Maybe tame this tang just a little bit thinner so it fits that guard. Then we're also going to fit that guard up so that way it's a little wider for our tang to fit in there. So let's go ahead and get on the grinder, and we'll get this. Guys, please don't be mad at me, but I actually forgot to film the handle broaching and the glue up for this build. So just imagine the knife going into the antler, and that's what I did. And back to the video. My beard is longer and my hair is shabbier. This actually took way more effort than I thought it would, mainly because of work, but I've got something to show you guys. Let's take a look. So today we finally put the finishing touches on the Bowie knife. Ooh, look at that. With this antler handle. And I ended up not doing a hollow grind on the blade, but I left the brute to forge with the fuller in place. And I think it is a monster of a blade. Let's do some test cuts. So let's just go ahead and do one of these. Oh, like butter. Whew. Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do, pig.
Some more. Oh, guys, I think it's sharp. I think it's sharp as hell. So now the last thing to do is going to be to go and trade this Bowie knife, which I say is, I believe it to be stunning, absolutely incredible, and go take it to the guy who wants this blade, at Real Banana Juice on Instagram. Totally awesome musician, has a sweet Jackson Dinky 7-string that he wanted to trade for this blade. I'm so excited to get that guitar home and start playing it. We might have to do a part 2 just because the video is getting a little bit long here, but you know, we'll see. Worst comes to worst, you'll see it in the next video. So let's take one final look at this blade, and then we'll film recording it, or trading with Banana Juice, and I'll go ahead and leave a link right down in the description.